Hey everyone, it's Jason, and these are 7 sneaky things the cruise lines don't tell you, and watch out for the last one, because if you're not aware, it could cost you thousands of dollars. So number 1, you're not going to be alone. And what drives me crazy is a lot of the marketing that you see done by a lot of these cruise lines, they show like 3 people at the pool, they show 1 or 2 people in the restaurant, they show like you're going to have this run of the ship. And unfortunately, that's not accurate. What I would say is a lot of us YouTubers also make the mistake of getting up early, or when we embark on the cruise, we do a lot of our videos then. And what I've actually planned on doing is moving forward, I'm actually going to film partially on busy days and cut in and out. So I want to show people the real story of what's going on the cruise ships. Doesn't mean I don't think you should cruise, but you just need to be aware that you're not going to be alone, because these are small cities. So number 2, and this one might be the most difficult one on the list for me, is your cabin might be noisy. And this is unfortunate, but the walls are made of metal. And this is why you hear a lot of the other things going on in the other cabins, such as when they slam drawers closed, or definitely when they slam their entrance door and they don't take care to just holding it back and letting it close slowly. What we have found that works is just getting a sound machine. We usually have it on at all times in our cabin, and then at night we turn it up, and it blocks out, we would say, about 90% of the noise. The other thing that I want to give you a warning is if you have a fight with your significant other or your kids or whatever, your people next to you are 100% going to be able to hear it. We heard it from both sides on our last cruise, so just be aware of that before you get into that. Like, maybe chill out a little bit, walk out onto the balcony or walk away, because your neighbors are going to hear every single word of your argument. Number 3, buffets are not 24/7. So a lot of people think there's food at all times, and what we've seen is about after 1 o'clock in the morning, it's scarce. So you don't see as much food. The buffets are shut down. And yeah, you may get like some snacks like at International Cafe or Cafe Promenade on some of the ships. But some ships have very little food until about 6:30 in the morning when the buffet opens. So if you like to go out late and party and have a good time, you may want to take a break around that midnight time to go grab some pizza or some stuff off the buffet before going back out. Because after about 1 o'clock in the morning, there ain't nothing left. Number 4, crime happens. It's statistically very low on cruise ships, and it is unfortunate. But the one thing I want you to consider is, if you're going to be out there drinking, understand that these ships are full of people from all walks of life in different areas of the world. So you want to make sure you take those same precautions that you would use on land if you were going to a club or bar, and be with a good group of people that are going to make sure that you're taken care of. Make sure that you get back to your cabin safely. Number 5, if you're not prepared, you could be nickeled and dimed to death. This is one thing I'm going to ask you guys to do, is make sure you understand what is included and not included in your cruise price. This is a big deal, because you're going to have people all over the ship, crew members, that are going to try to be upselling you on drinks, beverage packages, coffee packages, specialty dining. And if you don't know what's included, you may just go, yeah, let's get this and let's get that. And it might not be worthwhile to you. So make sure, 1, you do your research. And 2, this is something I've always asked. Is this included in my cruise fare? And they'll say, no, this is an extra, $150 for 2 people, or whatever the case. And that's when you can go, no, thank you, appreciate it, and you can just walk on by. Number 6, you may miss that can't miss port. This is an unfortunate thing about cruising, because weather is just so unpredictable. Winds are usually the determining factor of whether they can go into a port or not. And many times winds start to kick up, and it just makes it unsafe for these cruise ships to try to dock. So just keep that in mind. Understand it does happen, and they're making these changes if they have to for the safety of their passengers and crew. Before I get to number 7, I would ask that you please like this video, as it does help the channel grow. Also, consider subscribing, as I do daily cruise news shorts and tips and tricks. I also do longer cruise videos on Saturdays and Sundays at 8 a.m. Thanks so much. And number 7, cruise air does not mean the ship will wait for you at embarkation. A lot of people get confused by this, thinking that they bought the cruise air so they have a guarantee to get to the ship. All that's stating is they'll work with you to try to get you on the ship if you miss embarkation, such as maybe the next port. So my advice always is, domestically, make sure you're flying in 1 day before your cruise. Internationally, make sure you're flying in 2 days before your cruise. Even if you're booking through a cruise travel agent directly and they say, no, it'll be fine, demand 1 day before domestically, 2 days before internationally. It could save you tons of heartache and trouble when traveling to your cruise port. So I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks so much for the support. Would love to know your thoughts about all the 7 sneaky things that the cruise lines don't tell you. Is there something that I missed on the list that you would add to it? Would love to hear from you in the comments. Until I talk to you next time, happy cruising.